Manhattan skyline forms a gorgeous backdrop for quarterfinal action in the men's Division I NCAA lacrosse tournament. Today, we have two games for you out on the island at Hempstead. Number 1 ranked Cornell, the top seed of this tournament, the Big Red out of the Ivy, taking on the upstarts from Richmond out of the A10. Dan Shimani's built a winner, the only coach that program has ever had, and he's advanced to his first ever quarterfinal. Let's take a look at the bracket. We've got 8 teams remaining. Today, Cornell and Richmond. Then after this game, about a half hour after we're finished, Princeton and Syracuse. That promises to be a great one. Tomorrow in Annapolis, Penn State and the 2-time defending champ Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And then Maryland and Georgetown will renew their acquaintances. Kark and I renew our acquaintances here on the island. Chris Cotter, Paul Carcaterra with you once again. Quarterfinal action from Hofstra. And all season long, I feel like college lacrosse has been very competitive. I don't think these quarterfinals are going to be any different.
You and I have talked about it all season long. 8 to 10 teams could win a national championship. This game captures that. You have the number 1 seed in Cornell against unseeded Richmond. But if you go back to March 2nd, Richmond dominated that game. Cornell squeaked it out at the end with a 12-11 victory. The beauty of this matchup is the underdog believes they belong in this game and believes they could win this game.
And they've won 9 games coming in. The Richmond Spiders have 9 games in a row, so they are hot. It's always difficult when you're playing Cornell, though, because you've got the de facto Tewaaraton winner in C.J. Kirst. He will win the award.
The most prolific scorer in Division I lacrosse history, does it from the left wing. He's exceptional off ball. He dominates one-on-one matchups. You really don't have an answer for this guy. When you flush him to his right hand, his offhand, that's what he does, but it doesn't stop with him. It's the most explosive offense in the entire country.
Ryan Goldstein is the playmaker. He's a jitterbug from X, and then Michael Long on the other side can absolutely fill it up from distance. They are brutal to try and defend. Well, whenever one of the Kirst plays, it's always a family affair. Morgan Uber is the 3rd member of our crew. She's standing by on the field with more.
Well, the rise to stardom for C.J. Kirst, he credits back to 2 summers ago when he went to Canada to play box lacrosse. He was very frustrated, couldn't get many shots off, but he was able to focus on his release, so methodical, calculated, and it's what we see today. But his true foundation, it started right at home. He's number 4 of 5 brothers, all who played lacrosse in college. Colin, Cole, and Caden are all here today, along with his mom, Michelle, and CJ told me that when his family shows up, they bring him a different edge on game day. They're the loudest ones during warm-ups, and they expect to continue that throughout the game, and that's dangerous. That could be a big problem for Richmond, guys.
Oh, yeah, that's frightening for the Spiders, no question about it. But one thing about Richmond, their calling card all year, Kark, has been their defense.
I call it a swarm D. They are relentless to the ball. They are elite communicators, and off ball, they knock down so many passes. They're also good at getting out of their defensive end, one of the best clearing teams in the nation. When you get through this unit, you got to deal with Zach Vigu. Last week, down at Chapel Hill against North Carolina in round 1, he was awesome down the stretch.
Look at the numbers where they sit nationally, and when you think about it, you got Jack Pilling, in addition to Vigu, a short stick D midi who's an All-American. Hunter Smith, All-American close defender, and Mitchell Dunham, just drafted 21st overall by the Archers as another close defender. He's heading to the PLL. Dan Shimani in his 12th season. What can you say? He's the only coach in program history. He's been to the NCAA tournament now 6 times, first time ever in the quarters.
2014 was his first year, and last week was the first victory in program history in the NCAA tournament. Then there's Connor Busick, still the youngest coach in Division I lacrosse. He brought the Big Red to championship weekend in his rookie campaign as a coach in Ithaca in 2022. He was a player for the Big Red only 10 years ago.
The Big Red in white as the higher seed in this game. Richmond in all red. And the first of 4 quarterfinal action games today underway. Picked up by Walker Wallace. Trying to get into an offensive player's cross right now so they can set up 6v6. Wallace still on the run. And now finally gets it to Ryan Goldstein. Gets it back to Walker. That ball picked off passing lane.
There it is. That's the passing lane. You have to convert, though, on that exchange, giving your offense a much-needed early possession against this Big Red offense that is a unit.
Instead, the early turnover. Now C.J. Kirst will set things up alongside Hugh Kelleher. 27 in white, another All-American out of the midfield. Big goal for Richmond. You mentioned him, Zach Vigu.
Oh, that's nice.
He has been a stalwart for this team for years. That shot deflected over Vigu's head. Vigu, two-time all, A10. Second goalie in Richmond history to get over 400 saves.
Can they withstand the early rush from Cornell?
Goldstein, you see how quick he is. The shiftiness from X. Long shoots, a little high.
Second down in Richmond. The Spiders went out to a 6-1 lead and dominated for 3.5 quarters. A fast start is pivotal right now because the Big Red the last month has been unstoppable in offense.
Here's Kirst against a shorty. That draws a lot of attention. Still on that matchup. Goldstein trying to use his quickness and does, but doesn't have the angle off the back of the net. They'll say it hit the post, so that's a fresh 60. Kirst again on the shorty here. Big time advantage for 15 and white. And he shoots it wide.
Dan Shamati is not overly concerned when a short stick goes on Kirst through the pick game because his defense is all about fundamentals and scheme. They're not going to junk it up. They're not going to shut off CJ Kirst in this game. They're going to play Richmond defense.
There's Willem Firth, 51 and white, also an All-American. Man, they are just littered all over this field today. Now Packard on Long. Packard's working hard early in this game. That's going to be a goal. Long found the cutter. It was Ryan Goldstein. Top-ranked Cornell with the early advantage.
For my money, Ryan Goldstein might be the most underrated attackman in the country. He's been on an absolute tear. 82 points coming into this game. When you focus too much on CJ Kirst, he can beat you as a feeder, but this time as a finisher inside. They go to the short stick matchup. It's too early of a slide, and Goldstein, the patience late in this shot. A lot of players shoot right away. Tiptoes around the crease. He gets Vigu guessing. One fake, two fakes. Can it?
Clark, you and I did the Ivy League tournament in the championship game. Cornell faced Princeton, and that was one of the best games I've ever seen from an offensive skill. You know, the way those two teams passed the ball and moved without the ball was brilliant. Cascade will fire it. Vigu forced to make the save.
Got to get this out if you're Richmond. Cornell will ride you and make it hard to clear. Look at Goldstein there.
Oh, trouble. And he picks up the GB. Now he's looking for somebody in front of the net. Tried to get it to Kirst. He picks up the ground ball, though, and this is the second turnover now for Richmond. We haven't even seen them on 6v6 offensively.
That's a recipe for disaster for the Spiders. They're third nationally clearing the ball. 2 blown clears here in the opening minutes.
Second midfield unit, Brian Luzzy. Down the alley to Goldstein. Swings it back around far side. That pass too high from the stick of Ryan Sheehan. Cornell turns it over. Three minutes into this game, we've yet to see Richmond on 6v6 offensively. It's an offense, Clark, that struggled early in the year, but talking to Dan Shamati this week, he said he feels like during this 9-game winning streak, the offense is caught up a little bit, having to play against this tough defense every week at practice.
Yeah, he scratches his head sometimes after a practice, asking himself, what can we do offensively? Are we ready for this moment? But then he checks himself and understands his defense is about as good as it gets.
Good to see Ricciardi in 16 in red in this game. He's been banged up, so Shamati wasn't sure he was going to be able to go with attack. He is starting this game. We'll keep an eye on that.
And that's big because he's one of the few natural lefties on the Spiders offense.
Here's Olsen, team captain, up top to Littlejohn. 27 in red is an outstanding hockey player, Lucas Littlejohn. Out of Ontario, great box lacrosse player as well. Spiders get on the board. It's Merklinger, and this guy, when Merk gets going, you can see he's got a 7-game goal scoring streak. He really stirs the drink on this team.
He's so two-handed, he's chameleon-like. You can play him at attack or midfield. Dodge him from behind or up top. You have to give him respect that he could dodge either left or right. He smells that out by the Cornell defender. Jason Singer just flushes him down the alley, but Merklinger has way too much angle.
2 goals and an assist in that first round win over North Carolina. He gets his 29th on the season. The team captain evens things up here.
Yeah, mark my words, you see him as a goal scorer. You'll see him as a big-time distributor.
Cascadin again takes a shot. And for the second time today, forces Vignew to go down and make the save.
These are unfortunate bounces off of rebounds, blown clears that give this Cornell offense too many opportunities. It's the top offense in the country, scoring over 16 per game, but it's their shooting percentage too. They're the #1 shooting percentage team in all of college lacrosse. So if you give them time and room, turn and rake.
Firth up top to Long. Here's Kelleher. Was a great high school football player, not far from where we are right now. Here on the island, and you can see that in the way he plays lacrosse here at Cornell, like a fullback going downhill. Here he is looking to dodge. Firth up top. Quick pass to Kirst, looking for a pick. Gets the switch. Shoots on the run. Vignew makes his 3rd save of the day.
That's a great double on Kirst, but more importantly, it was the recovery. When they double, you see that they go back and they find that open man immediately. This is a defensive unit that speaks the same language and is so impressive when you watch them on tape. It's their angles, it's the ability to knock down passes in the passing lane. Always in the right spot at the right time. The time doubles is an underrated skill.
Haven't mentioned Wyatt Nust in the goal for Cornell. Haven't had a reason to. He's 0 for 1 on shots faced so far today. Pickard shoots the tough angle. Nust made that save. Dooley comes out of there with it in a little bit of trouble. Weaves his way out of it. Dangerous pass, but gets it to a teammate. Here comes Schwartz. Quickly to the cage. Lamb scores! TJ Lamb, the sophomore from Westchester, PA, puts the Big Red back up top.
Watch the awareness in the pass by Michael Long that's fueled by a defensive stop by the Big Red. Picard with little angle. Wyatt Nuss makes the leg save, and they flush it out and give this offense an opportunity in transition. Look at the patience of Michael Long, just waiting as that cut from a defensive midfielder, and Lamb percolates. And what a shot placement on that one. Righty goalie to the lower left corner. You just think that you have to stop the top 9 offensive players, and you have short stick D middies like Lamb flushing out on a break, sticking lower corners.
All those D middies, Lamb, Gilmartin, Box, Davis, they can all score. Cascadin can as well. He's getting opportunities. This Richmond defense is letting him run almost unabated to the crease. Flag down. Now we get a touch up.
That's going to be on Kirst.
For TJ Lamb, that is his 2nd goal of the season.
Getting a push with possession.
Yes, 30 seconds.
This is the one area offensively that hasn't improved for Richmond. Less than 25% made up.
Which is kind of shocking because in years past they've been really strong. Yeah, Kirst gets him from the back. If you're a defender right there clearing the ball, once you feel the pressure from the back, it's time to hit the ground, right? Because you can get that call. It's Hunter Smith, who's their top cover guy, who will have to run around chasing CJ Kirst. Good news for Richmond is Smith is a lockdown defender. He'll be a pro in the PLL next year. Could potentially be a top 2-round pick.
Good opportunity for the Spiders to belie the stats. Get a man up goal to even this thing up. Cutter can't hit him. Merklinger will track it down. Precious seconds rolling off this man up.
Watch 24 in red. Olsen could let it fly from the outside.
Even strength. Oh, the man of specialist, Leo Kane, finds a corner. Won't count as a man-up goal, but it works for 22.
It's not a man-up goal, but they time it. There's always that extra 3 or 4 seconds while the defense recalibrates. Kane, the hired gun. Don't sleep on a spider.
College sports fans, get ready for game day with the officially licensed merchandise from the NCAA official online shop. Shop NCAAsports.com. Get the whole family geared up with the best collection of apparel and accessories, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, headgear, championship gear, and more. Visit the NCAA shop for today's special offer and rep your favorite team now. Only at shopncaasports.com.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because the setup took 2 videos and a quick demo.
You can change your color here.
And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do.
So whenever you start a project,
Don't worry,
you're not alone.
we can do this together.
So what are you working on? Yes, my salad is here. Thank you, DoorDash.
I love Dash Pass by DoorDash. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
So what's better, your food or the savings you get with Dash Pass?
Tough call.
Here's a better question. What are we gonna do with the rest of these bowls?
We got that covered. Stacking wins in here.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championship is brought to you by Real Steel. Find yours at steelusa.com.
Sun has come out here at Hempstead. A lot of Richmond fans here as well. As long as you would expect a lot of Cornell, but a lot of Richmond as well, blue and red, filling this stadium.
2 different fan bases, right? Richmond, this is new for them. First tournament win a week ago down in Chapel Hill. Then you have the Cornell faithful, and their alum in the New York City region is so big, and they're just so hungry for their first title since 1977. It's a proud group.
Do you think there are any alumni here in this area from both Syracuse and Princeton?
You think?
I would think this stadium is going to be
juiced,
packed for that second game we've got for you, but we've got a good start here, all knotted up at 2 apiece. Cascaded has owned the faceoff dot. No question about that. Jared Chinoy is back. He played in the first game where these 2 teams met, Clark, but it was his first game back from injury. Didn't have a great game. He's gotten better as he's kind of gotten more to the flow of the season.
Cascadin, 5 wins to Richmond, 0. Their first matchup on March 2nd down in Richmond. Cascadin owned that matchup at 70%. Good reason they were able to come from behind in the 4th quarter, down 11-8.
Kelleher can't handle the pass. He tracks it down. They call him Huey. He's kind of like a Huey helicopter. When you hear that, you know the cavalry's coming. Quick shot. Goldstein is able to pick it up. Look at those hands. Beautiful move by Firth. He shoots it on the outside of the cage.
You see the underneath move by Swivel. He's a box lacrosse magician, but Richmond holds. Shot clock violation.
Cleared by the Spiders. Morgan's down in the field. What do you got, Morgan?
Well, inside that last Richmond huddle, head coach Dan Chamati telling his team, using the words being intentional and aggressive on the outlets. He brought up those 2 blown clears early. He said, remember, chemistry is our strength, and we need to utilize that playing together in transition.
Yeah, good stuff, Morgan. Certainly they've been able to withstand that early. That's a big part of it. You blow 2 clears early, this game could get out of hand, but they've gotten 2 goals, and they've kept it close. On good shooting, 2 of 3. Meanwhile, Cornell, usually they're the ones with the high shooting percentage. Just 2 for 12, though. 12 shots already. Gets back to the middle of the field, increases his angle, but nothing there. Gilmartin's all over him. Tried to feed it inside, just a lot of traffic and a little bit too high. Picked up by Gilmartin. He gets hit from behind. They wanted a call and they're going to get it. Cornell's going to get the delayed call right here. Possession finally by Richmond. They'll get a push in the back here.
Yeah, it'll be another 30 seconds. Gilmartin's one of those shorties that has the green light, like Lamb, who scored earlier.
Might have an offside here, too. Officials going to talk things over. Our officials today, Mark McGinnis, Josh Blaisdell, and Timothy Chechia. Let's get the call.
So it was offsides. I thought that could have been a push, too, right here from behind.
With possession.
Yeah, they got away with one there, I think. So it was the offsides earlier, and then this potential push from behind was not called. But they did get the offsides. This is an extra man unit that can be frightening. Sixth nationally at 46%. It's the way they spin the ball, though. The ball moves at hyper speed, and they have two trigger guys, and Michael Long and Ryan Goldstein, who feed as well as about any attackers in the country.
They'll start with Goldstein inside, and Rory Graham as well, 23 in white. So he's their man-up specialist. Firth to the far side of Long, and they've got Kelleher up top. Good angle, Firth, though. Couldn't beat Vignew. Vignew's sharp here early, and he's had to be.
Seen a couple kick saves, one by Vignew, one by Nust. You got to get it out here if you're Richmond. You'll kill the penalty, and it's a little concerning that Cornell's had 13 shots already. But I will say this, Richmond's approaches, the way that they go after the shooter and the ball carrier, they're creating poor angle shots right now for Cornell. So you're concerned about the volume of shooting, but you're happy defensively with the way that you're flushing out and playing the ball carrier who can dodge or shoot.
Outpaw. That's Packard. Got into his left hand. He's been working on that left hand in the offseason using a shovel.
This is 5-on-5 right now. Yeah, the shovel, you talk about getting soft hands, right?
Use a spade, full-size spade shovel to work on your left hand. 8 in red. Merklinger, man, thought about letting it rip, instead gets it to X. Here's O'Neal. He's the A-10 Offensive Player of the Year 5. Good defense by Cornell. Shot clock inside of 10. O'Neal's going to have to make something happen. Tries a question mark, and it hit the pipe. That'll be a fresh shot clock.
That will. O'Neal is their catalyst. He's their only 50-point scorer on the season.
Held scoreless against North Carolina. That was surprising.
But the beauty of the Carolina game was the depth of scoring from the midfield. I mean, they had two-way guys like Packard scoring multiple goals with both hands, and so many other players stepped up as a result of the attention that O'Neal got.
Yeah, Creo had 2, 1, and 3, the former attackman, now running out of the box. 10 in red. This is Pickard. They have Packard and 8, Pickard 11. Double team comes, gets it up top. Sheridan. Far side goes over to Outpaw. Outpaw in his final year, gonna be an officer in the U.S. Marine Corps. Upon graduation, already completed officer candidate school last summer. Merklinger loses his footing. Isis with the shorty. Clark says very two-handed and got a shot and it bounced in. It looked like that ricocheted off of Nust and he didn't even see it, and it went in the goal.
They're traveling from Richmond, Virginia to try to make some history. Sometimes the ball has to bounce your way. Merklinger with his second on the afternoon. This is good defense by Lamb. Merklinger then gets his hands free, and that's a deflection. You see Walker Wallace, who's a Richmond native, 50 in white, gets hit with that ball, and Nust has no idea how to track that.
It hits the jersey, and look at the English on that. It hits out in front of Nust and just spins in behind him.
You got to get a little lucky, right? You have those blown clears earlier in the first quarter. You're playing the #1 team in the nation, the #1 seed, an offensive juggernaut. You want to control longer possessions, what they did, and have a little luck, Cotter.
That time, Chinoy was able to win it initially, but the counter from Cascadden gets possession once again off the face-off to Cornell.
This is a team in Richmond, and I said it in the open, they believe they belong in this spot. If you watch them over the years, they've always scheduled the big dogs, the Marylands in the regular season, Virginia, Duke. They don't duck anyone. And that March 2nd date with this Cornell team where they controlled the majority of that game for 3.5 quarters. That's all they need in terms of the belief. They want to close it out this time.
Luzzy tries to turn the corner, now gets it back into his right. Gets pushed off his line. Up top to Waldman. Ryan Waldman spins free. Gets it back into his right. Got hammered as he shot it.
I've watched Waldman in the pregame warm-ups. I mean, this guy goes after it like he's playing in an overtime match. He's so attention to detail oriented.
Goldstein. Tried a little BTB.
People won't appreciate that. Ryan Goldstein is a right-handed player. So to go behind the back right-handed it's not the hardest thing in the world. To do that with your offhand, that's crazy how fluid he is with his lefty behind the back.
Kirst. And the defender miss. He goes behind the back with under 10 to shoot. Everybody racing for it, won by Richmond.
What did Morgan say in that huddle? Dan Shamati, Richmond head coach, said, be intentional. Running out of ball, selling out and diving. Closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds on a shot, you'll get the rock. Richmond rewarded.
Cornell, 2 for 16 shooting the ball here early, and they've missed their last 7 shots.
Crowd's popping, Cotter. It's starting to really get full here.
As we tick toward that 1-minute mark in this first quarter. First of 2 from Hofstra. Got Syracuse and Princeton to follow. And when Richmond gets 6v6, they've seen those 16 shots, Kark. They don't want this thing to be up 60 shots, you know, for Cornell in this game. They want to slow things down on this side of the field.
They do, and they use the shot clock so wisely. You know, they got that restart prior to the Merklinger goal that trickled. They had Cornell playing a lot of defense.
Now here's Creo. Again, former attackman who gets a shorty here in this matchup now that he's running out of the box. You know he wants to take advantage, and he does here. Shoots it high.
And they want the last shot. There is no amount of time that's too small, too little for Cornell to score.
So there's 10 seconds to shoot here for O'Neal. Uses a pick. They're going to call a moving pick, or a crease violation rather, as O'Neal just stepped into the crease. Cornell wants to go quickly. Schwartz. Long goes up to get it. Vigu stands tall in net. Still not over yet. All the way down the length of the field. Finally, that horn sounds, so an opportunity for Cornell on the fast break at the end of that first quarter. Doesn't go. Richmond, the underdog. They're not playing like it today. They spotted Cornell the early lead, but then the Spiders bounce back to take advantage and take the lead here in Hofstra. It's 3-2. We're going to hear from Coach Shamati on the other side.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo.
You can change your color here.
And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do.
So whenever you start a project,
Don't worry.
You're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes. The NCAA programs deliver $4 billion in scholarships every year. Those D1 scholarships are now guaranteed. Health and well-being services are mandatory. Student athletes get tutoring as well as financial literacy coaching because almost everyone is going pro in something other than sports. The NCAA, driving change to do more for today's student athletes.
Hey, Bert, guess what?
Yo.
I saved so much ordering with Dash Pass by DoorDash, I even got you some chips and guac, bro.
Thanks, Malika.
I got you.
I saved with Dash Pass, too. I got you a burrito.
For me? My guy. And I ordered a speaker for my pre-show dance with Steve.
I saved on new shades.
Oh.
And when we save money with Dash Pass,
Man. Everyone wins.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
Welcome back to Long Island, New York. I'm here with Richmond head coach Dan Chamati. Coach, what stood out about the way that your defense has contained the nation's top offense?
I mean, the defense is doing what they always do. They're supporting each other. They're flying around, winning backups. We got to stop making it so hard on them. On our offensive end, we're giving reverse transition to Cornell. You can't do that. They're such a good transition team. So we can't give that much transition up as we continue.
You told us you go as Max Merklinger goes. What do you like about the way he's playing early?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, he's the guy. He's our energy bunny. He's our energizer bunny. He's leading us right now. So vocally and physically.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Team captain Max Merklinger can play attack, can play midfield, two-handed. He's got a couple of goals already and an assist. Spiders lead by a goal as we head to the second cart.
Part of Dan Chamati's answer, he said, we're winning backups. That's a sliding in recovery. So when they support a one-on-one matchup, their ability to go back inside and recover and get whole again is what's really impressive.
And they win their first face-off of the day after 6 defeats at the face-off dot. So that's a good sign as well here to start the second quarter. And there's Joe Sheridan. He was the MVP of the A-10 tournament. That turnover, you see now this leads to a fast break too. Here's Gil Martin on the run. Kirst. And Walker Wallace on the trail. This time Staub stays in to set a pick for Kirst. Now he checks out, but Kirst has a little bit of room. Not as much room as that man right there though, Goldstein. 2-3 fakes and beats Figu.
This is not what Dan Chamati wants. A turnover early to start the second quarter because he knows what's on the back end. It's a beast named CJ Kirst. Look at the strength. Hunter Smith is not a small guy. 6'2", 220 pounds. CJ Kirst just runs through him. And then once again, not one, not two, not three fakes. Ryan Goldstein with the patience. But the strength of CJ Kirst to win the leverage point of attack of that matchup against Hunter Smith just opened up everything because the slide had to go to him from Ryan Goldstein.
And a great decision to pass it to Goldstein and not take the shot, even though you're the leading scorer in the country.
Cotter, they're the #1 team in terms of assists per game. They are selfless. The ball moves at hyper speed. It's hot potato.
Keller. Here's Firth. Kelleher looks to the bench. Goldstein has defender hung up. That's going to be an easy goal. Andrew Dalton.
Here's the problem with the turnover early in the second quarter, Cotter. You give the Cornell offense another opportunity, and Cascadin is owning the face-off X. So then the offense gets fed again, and everyone eats because of the ball movement. And Dalton, the senior lefty from Canada, is automatic. I love how he uses the defender as a screen there, and he shoots low off the hip of Mitchell Dunham, who was recently drafted by the PLL Utah Archers, 17 in red.
That time it was Anthony DeCenzo getting the face-off win for the Spiders, just their second of the game. The NHL playoffs continue tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC. Winnipeg fights to keep their season alive in Dallas against the Stars. Game 6 of the Western Conference second round Stanley Cup playoffs. They're presented by Geico. Coverage also available, as you know, on ESPN+. Creo on the run. Scores! Wow! Hit the corner! Come on, man! Come on! Spiders are saying, you guys are all just talking about defense up there in the booth. You can find the back of the net as well.
Gavin Creo. You talked to Dan Shamati. He said he's bounced back earlier in the season, struggling a little bit to find his groove. He's back on Long Island. Chaminade High School, Rockville Center. Let it fly, 10. It's a homecoming for this guy right here. Had the entire team over for dinner Thursday night. His dad, David, owns a ravioli company.
New York Ravioli and Pasta Company.
What a day to be a Spider Thursday night, right? Come back to the island, get fed that kind of food.
Ravioli and some gravy. Dave, give us a call afterward. I want to give you my home address. See if we can get some ravioli and some pasta, some sauce sent our way.
Just love how Creo really let that one fly, too. He felt the pressure of the Cornell defense, and he timed it perfectly to get his hands free.
Winning some face-offs here now. Kind of stemming that tide. That's the one thing when Cascadin gets on a roll, Karg. This team can score some goals quickly.
They were down 5-0 on face-offs in the first quarter. Now it's 7-3.
Yeah, I think it was 6-0, Karg. Packard got to the middle of the field. 8 in red. He's going to put in a lot of miles today. Two-way guy.
Yep, he's an old-school two-way guy. We'll see one in the second game. Sam English from Syracuse.
Outpaw on the run, way too high. Watch out in the corner.
Good backup by O'Neal. What I love about this Richmond team is they never flinch. Like, they were down early on the road against North Carolina last week. Outscored the Tar Heels 11-5 in the second half. Like, they know who they are. They're going to stick to their plan.
O'Neal bounces it. Not enough with the
offensively. Yep. Cotter is longer possessions. Frustrate this offense from Cornell and play a little keep away.
They got a longer one here because Nuss got just a piece of that shot, so fresh 60 on the clock. Pickard swims to his left. Now he gets his right hand free and scores.
This kid is going to be something. I saw him play in high school. He grew up in Pleasantville, New York, about 10 miles from my hometown in Yorktown. He is an exceptional athlete. He's the best football player in Westchester County his senior year. All-10 rookie year. In 2025, he's two-handed. He can dodge from all over the offensive set. When you watch the tape, he goes from the low angles, and this time up top, right through the heart of a Cornell defense. That is like an in-your-face type goal. The double comes, he swats it off, and he continues to go through the heart of that defense. Big moment for the Frosh.
Now Jackson Strickland taking this face-off. So Coach Shamati is trying, throwing everything he's got. All three of his main face-off guys in this game to see if he can find that combination. It's going to go against Richmond, though. So here's Firth. So we've seen Chinoy, DeCenzo, and now Strickland taking draws for Richmond. Kurst loses his footing, gets it back.
Withholding by Kirst. You see the time double by Richmond, though? It was done to perfection to jump Kirst. And it's the angle of the double, right? It doesn't happen right in front of Kirst's face. If it happens in front of Kirst's face, he's hitting that next man in the rotation, and they're going to find the inside as a result.
Kirst so far on the day, 0 for 4 shooting, has the 1 turnover. Richmond has forged this 1-goal lead. A-10 champs, currently riding a 9-game winning streak coming into this one. Beat North Carolina in the first round. Creo trying to get under Gilmartin, can't do it. Now O'Neal. Got the shorty matchup. That's Gilmartin. Spins it to the far side. Here's Merklinger. On the run, shoots and scores! That's 3 already for the team captain.
Did I say Merklinger was two-handed as it gets? His first 2 goals with his natural right hand. The shot location on this one was a beauty, but it starts with a defensive double. They swarm the all-time leading goal scorer in Division I lacrosse history. Give it to your Energizer Bunny. That's what Dan Shamani calls him. Sweeping down the alley with the left hand. When you are this two-handed, you can't hedge as a defender. You don't know where to flush 42. What a rip.
A 3-0 run for the Spiders. They forge their largest lead of the day at 2 goals. And Merklinger is 3 for 3 shooting on the day as well. As efficient as it gets. Long. They want to strike quickly, but can't do it.
And I was telling you, Cotter, this team in Richmond doesn't flinch. Cornell goes up early in the second quarter. You think, oh boy, here it comes.
They're winning every face-off.
Yeah, here it comes. Richmond stays true. Longer detailed possessions on offense. And crazy time doubles on defense is defining this game.
Just saw one right there. Kelleher got a step on his defender, but the help came. Forced to back up top. Goldstein. Here's Kirst. Looking for his first on the day. Firth on Packard. Runs by him. Packard does a nice job, though, getting into the passing lane, forcing the turnover.
Sticks up. When you're one of the 5 defensive players not on the ball, you got a job to do. And that's what Richmond has done all season long. Second nationally in terms of goals against on the defensive front.
Alpaugh. Behind O'Neal. There's Merklinger again, 42 on 42, but 42 in red likes that matchup. Now Dooley comes to help. Pickard. Wants a pick from Packard. Good job defensively by Staub.
If you're Pickard in that spot, he's a young player, a freshman. Just run to space. Trust your athleticism. Don't make that pass when a defender's all over your hip.
Timeout on the field. 8:09 left to go in the first half. Richmond giving the number 1 team in the country a battle.
I saved so much ordering a Dash Pass by DoorDash, I even got myself some extra chips and guac.
I saved even more with Dash Pass.
Oh.
I got new shades. And when we order with DoorDash, everyone wins.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
I teach the art of fanology, a job I take seriously. As to the question of nature versus nurture, is a fan born or is a fan made? I know this. Our game can make a fan out of anyone. And at Fandom U, we take it to a whole new level. The NCAA Championships. Attendance is encouraged. Passion is mandatory. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets. Class dismissed.
Memorial Day savings start now at the Home Depot. So whether you're working on a getaway just for you or a space to celebrate with friends, find everything to make it your place with savings from the Home Depot.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek. Dog tested, dog approved.
Midway through this second quarter, Spiders with a 2-goal lead, and this is a program that hasn't been around for a long time, just 12 seasons, and Dan Chamati played his college lacrosse at Duke, started the program, he's been with them all 12 years and has built them into a winner. They've made the NCAA tournament 6 different times, and this year they picked up their first win ever in the tournament in that first round against North Carolina. Only a very mild upset. When everybody who's watched this team all year knows, but they're for real, and they're showing Cornell that they're for real today.
They are, and it's been a steady climb and build by Chamati, who he's got like CEO type characteristics and tendencies, and he was telling me they were at 8 scholarships for a while, then they went to 10, and then finally got the fully allotted 12.6 just 2 seasons ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
He said it was emotional for him when John Hart, the AD, and his staff told Chamati they were going to be a fully funded program. And just in year 2 being fully funded, you get your first tournament win, and now you have the #1 team in the nation right now thinking.
Trying to force that pass into long. Turnover. Thinking hard right now, Cart. Pilling. Watch out from behind. Absorbs the blow. Gets it to Littlejohn.
I mentioned earlier, Aiden O'Neal is the only 50-point scorer on this offense. It's actually a strength of theirs, because they don't rely on 1 or 2 guys to do the damage. They beat you with great ball movement, off-ball manipulation of the other 5 players in the offensive set moving in the pick game. They're so hard to scout because anyone on this team right now can score a goal.
Lucas Olson. See how physical 24 shoots. Doesn't get through that defense though. Picked up by Staub.
So how does Cornell get going here? I think you got to be a little bit versatile in the way that you use CJ Kurtz. When he's at his best, he's dodging from everywhere on the offensive frame, and he's using picks in some tough spots. So Hunter Smith, who's a close defender, if CJ Kurtz dodges from up top, which he's so comfortable doing, and you implement a little bit of the pick game, which they're doing right here, I think you could free up CJ.
Thought about taking the shot on the run. Now he backs into his defender, Smith, but nothing doing. Goldstein here. Looking for a cutter. He's got his defender hung up. In the form of Michael Farrell. Now to Kirst. Working on the shorty Packard.
This is what the pick game does. It switches, you get a shorty.
Long couldn't handle the pass inside, though. He does a nice job just to goose it forward and get it to Kelleher. Now you get that famous ball movement. Goldstein. He shoots. Figure. All over it.
His defense is dialed.
6 saves for Vigu.
CJ Kurst is 0 for 4. In the first matchup, this sounds crazy, he only had 3 goals, which to his standard is very low. 6 last week against Albany. He's had a 9-goal game earlier in the year against Yale. When you hold him to 3, you go after the head of the snake.
He's got 1 assist on the day. He assisted on one of Goldstein's goals, but yet to find the back of the net himself. Under 5 minutes to play. O'Neal. Sheridan.
Dave, you're hot! Dave, just you! Come in here, go!
Recklinger had a notion there before the space was closed out. Now he shoots. Nust, no problem.
Yeah, that was a good save by the lefty Nust, who's been very, very strong in 2025. Struggled a bit last season. Lost his job. Gained it back in the offseason. It was a committee last year with Wyatt Nust and Matthew Tully, but it's been all Nust. 55%, top 20 nationally in save percentage. They'll need him against this very efficient Richmond offense.
Just picked up his 200th save of the season, becoming the 6th goalie in Cornell history to hit that number. Take a look at the brackets. Big weekend ahead. We're in one game here. The first game, I should say, of 4. Coming up next, Princeton and Syracuse. Everyone's looking forward to seeing that one because when both of those teams, if they play at their best, that game's going to be crazy.
Lights out. But this Final 8, the quarterfinals, it's like a mini Final 4. Back in the day, there'd be 2 or 3 teams that could win. Any of these teams could win a national championship. Storylines in each one, right? No, this isn't David versus Goliath in Cornell Richmond, because Richmond is for real. Notre Dame looking for a three-peat. Now we rekindle the old rivalry in May between Syracuse and Princeton, and then Maryland, the mainstay in May under John Tillman. Since 2011, he's been to 10 championship weekends, and he's going against his former assistant, Kevin Warren. And you could argue Georgetown might be the hottest offense in the country right now.
And at times they struggled this year, figuring it out just at the right time. Can they finally get over the hump and get the championship weekend on Memorial Day? That's May 26th. 1 o'clock Eastern, we're going to have the national championship game from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com. That's your home for all 90 NCAA championships. We were just talking about Wyatt Nust coming off a great save. Zach Viggy's been outstanding all game long.
Yeah, hit 14 last week against UNC. He's a big body righty. Just using that wide base with really quick top hand speed. You see that on the low angle shot by Ryan Goldstein. They will need him because Cornell will be relentless. They will go on runs in this game. They've never been held without a run. A big, massive run this season. The only team that solved them for the first 3 quarters the entire year was Richmond.
Yes.
Their one loss was Penn State, but they were up by 3 goals late in the 4th quarter against Penn State. And then there was an unreleasable penalty by Kaskadin, the face-off specialist, that allowed Penn State to get back into that game late and then win in overtime. Richmond's the only team that's had an answer for the Big Red.
Good shot of Vigyu there. Coach Shimani said Vigyu, who is, graduate student, been with this program for 5 years, said at a team meeting before the Georgetown game that he wasn't playing well, and it was kind of on him. And Shimani said since that meeting, he's playing his best lacrosse. Nothing you can do about that, though. Kirst is going to get his, and he finally gets his first goal of the day.
You're told as a young lacrosse player, attack the goal. There's no east-west about this dodge with C.J. Kirst. Hunter Smith, the top cover guy, he eats the initial check, and then the slide is a little bit late. He gets inside it right here. He just uses his crease awareness and body to stick that past Zach Vigyu. That is a big body who knows pay dirt as well as anyone you'll ever see.
Single season goal leaders in Division I history. 3 behind Mac O'Keefe, at least for the time being. Challenge flag has come out, though, from the Richmond bench. The only thing I could think of here, Karkas, maybe they're challenging in the crease.
Could be the crease, it could be the goal mouth.
He jumped away from the goal mouth, though. I think it might be a foot in the crease here. No?
He's clean. He's clean.
Ball is free.
It's hard to see
Ball's
that
in the
right
goal.
foot as he's shooting.
I think he's out. I'm not sure about this challenge. I thought it was pretty obvious in live action that he was not in the crease ever.
The goal mouth is irrelevant right here. See here, that looks clean here. How does he drag this toe, though?
The right one. No.
I don't know if the right one ever hits the ground. It looks like he leaves both feet. from that angle, look at his right foot. Does it hit the ground? It doesn't look like it.
No, and if that ball crosses the goal line before that foot hits anyways, it's a goal.
And the beauty of replay on turf, you'll see the black pellets a lot of times fly in the air if you're scraping the turf. But you have the half circle goal mouth. That's not in play at all. You can't land in the goal mouth unless it's defensive pressure. Even after the ball crosses the goal line. So he's so far from the goal mouth. It's all about the crease line. And from that angle, I think it'll be very difficult to overturn this goal. And C.J. Kirst, the goal scorer, he's so smooth in terms of going upfield with this and negating any crease type play. There's the left. See, the right to me never hits the turf. It's still in the air when the ball crosses the goal line. You could land in the crease after the ball crosses the goal line. Can't land in the goal mouth. So that was a good call by the officials and the reason why we have replay.
I love the self-awareness as well. So many times, Clark, we see that foot, that trailing foot, hit inside the crease. It was almost like Kirst realized it and kept that foot elevated until the ball went beyond the line. His first goal of the day.
106 points. You think about the Cornell greats. The Eamon McEnany's and the Mike French's played less games, so they never really approached the century mark. But the Tim Goldsteins, the Rob Pennells, no one's had more points in a season than C.J. Kirst at Cornell. No player's ever scored as many goals in a career.
Chinoy back at the face-off dot, and man, that would have been a great opportunity. Lucas Littlejohn couldn't handle the low pass, so a face-off won, but a turnover back to Cornell.
Those are the type of turnovers that you have to document because Cornell just scores a goal. You haven't been super efficient at the face-off. Actually, finally are getting into groove. You win one, and then you turn it over and give this offense. That was their 6th turnover of the day.
Against the 10-man ride, Goldstein had a shot. And that's the danger when you take a long-distance shot against the 10-man ride with an empty goal is if you don't have it backed up, that's a turnover. Game's been a back-and-forth affair, really. Nobody with a larger than 2-goal advantage at any one point in time in this first half.
I think Richmond has been at its best when it uses a lot of clock and longer offensive possessions to get this defense spinning.
Littlejohn inside, man, that's exactly where he wanted it, but he couldn't handle the pass again.
You're
That's
right,
a box
Potter.
lacrosse player's dream right there.
Yes, 4 goals against Carolina last week. He's automatic from that spot.
4 ties, 3 lead changes as we tick inside of almost at the 2-minute mark here in this first half. Kirst has Firth and Dalton coming in as well as Kelleher. Don't forget, Syracuse and Princeton follow us about a half hour after our game ends right here from Hofstra. On the run, Kirst hits the pipe.
You see the snappy wrist too, right? He just uses that big body, stays north-south. It's like a runaway train. So hard to stop when he gets to the momentum.
Fresh 60 for Goldstein and company. Firth gets it back. One-handed. Vignew makes the save.
He's been really good in tight high. Got to clear this. They've had multiple blown clears.
Oh, good play that time by Mitchell Dunham. Way up the ladder. He needed to use all 6'5" of his, but now they can't clear it. Goldstein as Vignew tries to get back. Behind the back pass. Intercepted. Packer tried to chase it down. Stahl got a stick on it and saved it to Kirst. Wild action in the middle of the field.
I'm impressed by Ryan Goldstein's riding ability. He is like a gnat on defenders. Got lucky though with that errant behind the back pass that the ball kind of trickled back to Cornell, because that's probably one Coach Busick will say We don't need that.
Down a goal here late in the first half.
But I think moving forward, Cotter, the more that the ball goes at X right here with Goldstein, the better this offense is. You know Kirst is going to dodge and create his own shot, but when this offense is at another level, Goldstein is a catalyst at X.
Timeout taken by Cornell. Second and final timeout of this half, 28.5 remaining. Shot clock is irrelevant, so they can hold it as long as they want before they put things in motion. The NCAA's all-time career goal scorer coming into this game, CJ Kirst, also leads the nation this year in goals and points. Got off to a little bit of a slow start today.
He did, because it's a team defensive effort. Zach Figue in the net. It's the swarming defense. Kirst there on a push that allows Richmond to go on the extra man. But watch the doubles, too. They always know where 15 and white is going to be. Loves the left wing. But then it's just a matter of him finding pay dirt, because he does it as well as anyone we've seen. If Cornell goes on a run to a national championship, wins here today and plays next weekend, not only is he the most prolific scorer in Division I lacrosse history from a career perspective, but he could break Miles Thompson and John Reese's 82 goal-scoring seasons. Reese in 1990 and Miles Thompson in 2014. Reese from Yale and Thompson from Albany. There's no record that's safe when 15 and white is on the field.
And you know Bill Tierney is smiling, making him the first overall pick for the Water Dogs.
Yeah,
the PL draft a couple of weeks ago.
Michael Sowers, it's CJ Kirst,
yes.
is Thunder. Michael Sowers is Lightning. A lot like a Ryan Goldstein, right? Sowers actually trained Ryan Goldstein in the Philadelphia area. They're both Philadelphia natives. They spent a lot of time together. So you see a lot of Michael Sowers in Ryan Goldstein's game. Here, I'm going to Kirst, and I'm using some picks, right? And I don't expect Kirst to have to go to the goal, but I want him to disrupt the flow of this sliding defense, to be the main initiator. And if it's not the assist from Kirst, it's the hockey assist. It's the two away, and Cornell's the best team in terms of assists this season in college lacrosse.
Out of the timeout, Cornell's got Dalton in the middle of the field. Now long back at X. Here's Kirst. Working on Smith. Bounces off him, now gets in front of the goal, pipes it. Bounced it, it bounced high, it hit the top pipe. Kirst wants a goal. Officials say no goal. And a crease violation, so they want to restart it back here, GLE.
The problem is Cornell can't challenge that because they don't have any timeouts.
Yes.
So if Coach Busick had a timeout, he could challenge that. The refs aren't going to challenge that unless there's 4 minutes left in the game. They have the right to do that.
Let's take another look at this. Connor Busick still wants a better explanation.
Let's take a look at this, Cotter. I know it hits the pipe. Oof, that's awfully close.
I don't think it got in though, Carr. Right in the very corner. Looked like it hit both the crossbar and the upright.
The ball has to completely cross the goal line. That did not happen. The entire ball has to cross the goal line.
If that goes in, that's a crazy goal. To be able to bounce that into that far corner like that, point blank range. Morgan Uber is standing by on the field.
Max, you watch your defense come up with that stop right before half. What's going through your mind?
They're a good group. They're going against the best offense in the country, so I have all the confidence in the world in them.
We know that you're this vocal leader for the team. What are you going to say to your guys at halftime?
Play the simple game, make the simple play that's right in front of our face. Don't worry about the outcome, just make the plays.
Thanks, Max.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate that, Max. Morgan?
That's Dan Shamati talking through him, right? Make the simple plays. Be intentional, Max.
All right, coming up at the half, we're going to preview the remaining quarterfinal games. We've got one more today, 2 tomorrow, down at Annapolis. And we're going to look back at the women's quarterfinals. That was this past Thursday. Their Final Four is set. What a game we have for you today. Richmond, not intimidated at all. They think they belong here, and they do. Leading by a goal against the #1 team in the country.
To national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want all in one place. With live broadcasts of multiple championships across all divisions, with exclusive access and highlights for every single championship. Stay in the game all season long with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek. Dog tested, dog approved.
Hey, Perk, guess what?
Yo.
I saved so much ordering with Dash Pass by DoorDash, I even got you some chips and guac, bro.
Thanks, Malika.
I got you.
I saved with Dash Pass, too. I got you a burrito.
For me? My guy. And I ordered a speaker for my pre-show dance with Steve.
I saved on new shades.
Oh.
And when we save money with Dash Pass,
Man. Everyone wins.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
To a perfect family vacation, separate rooms.
Put the love right on me.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
The truth about DIY is you never really do it all by yourself.
Because this setup took 2 videos and a quick demo.
You can change your color here.
And all of this started here, detoured here, and ended
down here.
And this pizza wasn't delivery. This was.
I wonder if they do have it.
We do.
So whenever you start a project,
Don't worry.
you're not alone.
We can do this together.
So what are you working on?
Lacrosse tournament. How about Syracuse and Princeton? That's game 2. We've got that here later on today, Cart.
Bunch of blue bloods, Cotter, from 1988 to 2002. The programs combined for 13 out of 15 national championships. Coulter Mackessy's been slinging it since the moment he arrived on campus. How about the Syracuse offense last week in round 1 against Harvard? 5 goals in a minute and 36 seconds, capped off by an Owen Hiltz dagger for an overtime victory. This is going to be electric. I think these two teams kind of mirror each other with sharpshooters and elite skill.
That game will be following our game on ESPNU. Game 1 tomorrow at Navy Marine Corps. Notre Dame taking on Penn State.
Penn State seniors went to championship weekend in 2023. Matt Trainor's the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Liam Matthews, 4 goals against Colgate in round 1. But guess who's heating up? It's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Thomas Ricciardelli was outstanding in net. Jake Taylor and Chris Kavanaugh. It's May. Notre Dame's looking for a three-peat.
The Stars will be out in force. There's no question about it. Trainer heading to the PLL. Chris Kavanaugh is as well. So is Jake Taylor. What a goal that was Taylor had, and what a game he had against Ohio State. The final game in our quarterfinal weekend, we'll have Maryland taking on one of the hotter teams, Georgetown.
Yeah, Maryland is built for May. John Tillman arrived at College Park in 2011. He's been to 10 championship weekends. Eric Spanos leads the offense, but how about the juggernaut in the nation's capital? Fulton Bayman and this guy right here, Aiden Carroll, have been lights out. Carroll's got 14 goals in his last 2 games. This is a strength-on-strength matchup. Georgetown's head coach, Kevin Warren, coached under John Tillman at Maryland. This is going to be a doozy.
Sunday at 2:30 on ESPNU. That'll wrap things up for us. That's wrapping things up for us in this segment. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the women's quarterfinals. Their semifinals are set. We'll have highlights next.
At Firestone Complete Auto Care, we hold our service to the highest standard. That's why we have thousands of expert ASE certified technicians nationally.
We're here to change your oil, but also check on everything else on your vehicle, bumper to bumper.
Call and book today.
I request a colon cancer screening kit from Cologuard.com. And if I'm eligible, it gets delivered to my drawbridge. ACEs.
Cologuard is for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Request the Cologuard kit online.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corebridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corebridge Financial. Action is everything.
Yes, my salad is here. Thank you, DoorDash.
I love Dash Pass by DoorDash. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
So what's better, your food or the savings you get with Dash Pass?
Tough call.
Here's a better question. What are we gonna do with the rest of these bowls?
We got that covered. Stacking wins in here.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
Take a load off Annie. Take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was
Put the load right on me.
totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Time here at Hofstra. Chris Cotter, Paul Carcaterra with you. By the end of this weekend, we'll know who the men's Final Four are. We already know who the women's are because they wrapped up quarterfinal action on Thursday. Let's go to Penn taking on Northwestern, Cart.
Yeah, Madison Taylor has been on a tear for the 2023 champs in Northwestern. 16 goals in her last 2 tournament games. She scores her 104th goal of the season. That's a new NCAA single-season record. Northwestern controlled most of this game. They went up 11-7 and then 12-10. Taylor scores 6 on the afternoon. Northwestern ends up winning this game 17-12 and advances to their 6th straight Final Four.
The 4th seed, Florida taking on Duke. Just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Florida got up to an early start. They're up 4-1. Gianna Monaco, her 72nd of the year. Florida up 5-1.
I think Amanda O'Leary, the head coach, has done a phenomenal job. They went to championship weekend a year ago, and they had to replace so many superstars, and young players like Franny Hahn stepped up. This was a game that Duke came back late, made it really interesting, but it was Florida's defense eventually behind the play of Georgia Hoey, who clinched it, and Florida goes on to another Final Four.
Yale taking on BC. 4 minutes to go in the second. Game tied, so Yale game early, but Emma Lopinto, 5 straight goals for Lopinto in this one.
She was incredible. I'm watching this game live, and I'm saying, what a pair of wrists just shredding corners was Lopinto. And this is a BC offense that's just loaded. Rachel Clark scores 8 goals. She breaks Charlotte North's record. 103 goals on the season. Yes, 103 goals. Maddie Taylor and Rachel Clark are putting up video game numbers. Boston College wins 18-11. They are the defending champs, and they're looking to repeat.
They'll take on Northwestern in the semifinals. Finally, the number 1 team in the country, North Carolina, taking on Princeton. This was all North Carolina.
How about the take by Kaylee Harden? She's a two-way midfielder that just changes and tilts a game. The freshman sensation, Chloe Humphrey, has been incredible all season long. That was her 78th goal of the year. And her sister, Ashley, as a quarterback, has been about as good as you possibly could be distributing the ball. Her 247th assist happened in this game. That's a new NCAA career record. The way that she dissects a defense and sees it. Carolina's the only undefeated team left in Division I women's lacrosse. They win 19-10, and they'll play Florida in the national semifinal game.
We'll be with them in Foxborough, the men's and women's, both from Foxborough this year. Semifinal action set. It's North Carolina, Florida, Northwestern, and BC Friday up in Massachusetts. Second half still to come. We'll also have first half highlights. Don't go anywhere.
Make the most of Memorial Day at the Home Depot.
So what are you working on?
We're adding some color.
Bringing summer inside.
All in one coat.
14 days of Memorial Day savings are happening now at the Home Depot.
Multiple sets shown, each sold separately. Ask your parents before going online.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corbridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corbridge Financial. Action is everything.
AE drink spray? AE drink spray.
You want to hoop like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Bleu de Chanel.
To a perfect family vacation. Separate rooms.
Put the love right on me.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Great day here on the island. 6-5 our score. Richmond, the unseeded Spiders, with a surprising 1-goal lead over the top seed in this tournament, Cornell, as we get set to start the second half. Chris Cotter alongside Paul Carcaterra. Not super surprising, though, the way these two teams played earlier on in the year. That was a close game throughout.
Yeah, Richmond dominated on March 2nd, but Cornell's built to come from behind. They've been down 3 times at the half, and they've won their 2 previous games this season because of their offense. It's the number 1 rated offense in the country. They shoot better than anyone. They pass better than anyone. But Richmond is kind of strangling the possessions out of Cornell with longer offensive possessions of their own and a swarming defense that knows how to time a double team.
And offensively, the Max Merklinger has a hat trick already in that first half.
He's been fantastic, and it's his ability to get to the rack with both hands. This time it's an unfortunate bounce off of Walker Wallace from Cornell. He does it right-handed, he does it left-handed to the bottom corner. He is the lifeline of this offense. But Zach Figue's been spectacular. The big body, 5th-year senior, who's been with the program so long. Just an unbelievable effort last week against North Carolina in round 1, and then bringing it on Long Island as well. I thought Ryan Goldstein was the best player on the Cornell offense in that first half with multiple fakes. You look at the patience out of the sophomore, his ability to cannon. CJ Kirst, they are doubling him. They are all over him. Every time he goes to the rack, there's a double team waiting for him. And that's Richmond's kind of DNA. Play and support one another, but it's only a matter of time where the best scorer in the history of Division I lacrosse finds the back of the net, and he does it with brute force.
First half stats. Cornell had 17 shots in that first quarter alone. Slowed down a little bit in the second. Face-offs again, they dominated 6-0 out the gate, but Richmond much better in that second quarter. Morgan's down in the field. Morgan Uber, what's going on, Morgan?
Well, Connor Busick out of the locker room told me they have to get back to their identity. This Cornell offense, #1 in the country in assists. He said, we have to do a better job of sharing the ball. And that was the message inside that locker room. He also said, just get the ball in number 15 stick. CJ Kirst, he knows how to do some special things. So look for a lot of him here in the second half, guys.
I expect a little bit more from him, that's for sure. And Connor knows that when this team moves the ball at hyperspeed, they are a special offense, no question about it.
You know, both of these offenses, too, they specialize in not turning the ball over. And a little bit of a sloppy first half for both. Richmond, 10 turnovers. They only average 13 per game. And then Cornell turning the rock over 8 times.
Another chance here quickly for Richmond. Nust having to make the save. He had to go down low to take one away from Lucas Littlejohn, but it'll stay Spiders, doing a much better job. Chinoy and company at the faceoff dot.
That's 2 opportunities that Littlejohn typically cans it and finds the back of the net. 27 in red. The Canadian who thought about playing professional hockey, was drafted in the OHL, semi-pro league.
O'Neal. He shoots, scores! Once again, Nust gets a piece of it, but not enough, and it trickles past him. The lead is back up to 2.
O'Neal is a natural right-handed player. So Cornell forces him to his weak hand, flushes him to his left. You see there, they open the gate a little bit too much. Hedging there. Christopher Davis doesn't get leverage in time. You got to find that leverage, Cotter, before goal line extended. Because once O'Neal takes a step past goal line extended, and he's got that angle, he's getting a shot off. I think Christopher Davis has to confront and get personal with O'Neal well before he gets to goal line extended there.
Put Walker in goal, oh my!
That time Michael Melkonian taking the draw for Cornell. On the violation. It's once again Richmond with possession. Great start to the second half for the Spiders. And Packard will slow things down.
I mentioned earlier, Cotter, you have O'Neal as the only 50 goal scorer. They do it by committee. 5 different goal scorers today for the Spiders, spreading the wealth.
Packard playing on both sides of the field, 8 in red. Teed up nicely that time by Charlie Box. Now they'll spin it around. Pickard on the run, bounces it too high, stays with Richmond as O'Neal tracks it.
I like how Pickard plays with contact on him. He's an elite running back in high school.
Kind of played all over the field, didn't he? Wide receiver, running back, some quarterback. Just had to keep him on the field. One-handed, too high. Packard will track it and keep possession just. Good hustle trying to win back possession for Cornell. Tough angle and Packard scores anyway. Look at that bench.
Packard, prior to last week in Chapel Hill, had 1 goal the entire season. Last week he breaks out with 2. This is a short stick defensive midfielder the majority of the year. Going on the invert, feeling so comfortable with a low angle shot. You talk about a player heating up in May at the right time for the Spiders. Charlie Packard.
Clark, all 4 of his goals and all 7 of his points have come in the last 3 games for him.
He worked so hard in the offseason, improving his offensive game. And now it's coming to fruition when they need it more than ever.
Largest lead of the day for the Spiders. Gil Martin. Goldstein answers.
Packard with a low angle rip. Goldstein says, I'll one-up you. The sophomore sensation off the clear. This is what Cornell wants to do, strike an early offense. Look at the dip of the shoulder and the head too, right when Goldstein releases this. This is a beautiful shot. He gets Figu just biting a little bit low, and then it's the quick top hand speed that allows that rocket shot to ring underneath the pipe.
Goldstein from Michael Long. That's 3 assists on the day for Long. And it took him just 18 seconds to answer that Richmond goal that gave the Spiders their largest lead.
And that's what I like about this Cornell offense. You got the 2 quarterbacks. You got Long, who's assisting today. Goldstein's scoring, but Goldstein's in the top 5 nationally in assists per game, so they can beat you with 2 quarterbacks flanked by the best scorer in the country in C.J. Kurst.
DeCenzo. Good job tracking that ball by the wings, wins possession. Now it's just 10-7 Cornell on top of the faceoff figures. Remember, they started this game 6-0. It has tilted more toward Richmond since then.
Yeah, and in game 1 in March, it was all Cascading at 70% on the afternoon.
Creo working on Lamb, really working on him. Now the help comes. Ball gets away. Still loose in the middle of the field. Over and back is going to be the call. That's a bad turnover again. Then the underdog trying to spring the upset card.
He got the 2-goal lead, but some sloppy plays.
Stop! Lets it rip.
You can't turn over the rock against this Cornell team. They will find opportunities and make you pay. What a sellout of a ground ball by Christopher Davis. And then Staub, who's from Garden City, about 2 miles from Hofstra. Played at Garden City High School for Steve Fennell. Played on this field multiple times in high school. Everyone's got the green light, including the Poles. 33 in white, hammers that one. That's 2 goals in 58 seconds against this frightening offense.
Staub, 2nd of the year, leads this team in caused turnovers, leads this team in ground balls from a non-specialist. And again, though, fighting at the X. It's Richmond. That time, Chinoy. And now they got an opportunity here with O'Neal. He's going to slow it down and wait for substitutions.
This is where Richmond's been really good today, Cotter. They've been able to answer when Cornell, you feel like they're getting a little bit of a momentum. Richmond fires back with this balanced offense, and Merklinger's got the 3 goals. Every other Spider offensive player with 1, so it's the balanced approach.
Right.
It's the longer possessions.
And they've won 4 out of 5 faceoffs this quarter, and they don't have Cascading going downhill with shot attempts right off the draw, which we saw a lot of in that first quarter. Packard gets to his left and shoots it wide.
It's a good point, Cotter, because Cascading's got 9 goals on the season. That's a big number for a face-off guy.
3 point-blank shots, forcing Figu to make saves in that first quarter. O'Neal coming upfield. Question marks, it hit the pipe.
I like what O'Neal's doing in terms of winning the leverage game above goal line extended. He's using that body.
Be committal inside! Be committal in
Packard. Far side of Alpaugh. He shoots too high. Stays with Richmond just.
Ooh, that was close. I thought Staub might have been closer to the ball when it went out of bounds on a shot. when he sold out and went airborne, but that was awfully close.
All kinds of time left on this shot clock, so 35 seconds for O'Neal. Wants a pick but can't get it. Dooley sticks with him.
Zebra! Find it 50! 50!
Pickard.
50! 50!
Merklinger.
Freeze shot!
That's Outpaw. He gets in the middle, shoots, scores!
Wear him out. Said it multiple times. Longer possessions. Alpaw knows it. This is a pipe shot by O'Neal, but the Spiders retain possession and grind out this possession. Closer to the ball when it went out of bounds. Too close to call, but it goes Richmond. And then it's attacked with long possessions. Alpaw with like an old school, just overhand release. Nothing fancy about this, but it's quick. A lot of players, when they get to the middle of the field and they're shooting with that left hand, they cock the stick back and there's that heavy release and a lot of torque. That was just quick and snappy. 7th different goal scorer for the Spiders. Balance again reigns supreme.
DeCenzo now. Chamani has brilliantly played his 3 face-off men here since Chinoy took the brunt of those face-offs in the first quarter, and it's worked beautifully for Richmond. They've won 5 out of 6 draws in this quarter. It's Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals. The Thunder hosting Nikola Jokic, who's had an unbelievable playoffs, in the Nuggets in OKC tomorrow. That's 3:30 on ABC. Countdown Crew tips our coverage at 3 o'clock. You're going to want to see that one. O'Neal, again, the question mark, but doesn't have an alley. Sheridan, bouncer. He backed up by O'Neal.
That twister increased his angle by Sheridan, but if you could go behind the back there, it increases your angle even more. But developing right now, Hunter Smith's on the bench getting worked on. Looks like maybe some cramps.
Gonna keep an eye on that on the other side of the field for sure. Creo.
Yeah, Smith has that matchup with CJ Kirst.
Yes. O'Neal trying to dump it inside. A lot of traffic. Really trying to get it into Little John inside. Just hasn't worked for him today.
He's not comfortable today. 4 goals against North Carolina. You know he was a headliner on the scouting report. But this is big with Hunter Smith, their top cover defender, out right now. That puts a lot of pressure on Connor Kelly, 20 in red, to defend CJ Kirst.
He's on him right now. Morgan, what's going on?
Smith really frustrated he can't be out there right now, but I heard the coaches say just take as much time as you need. He's working as quickly as he can, though, to get back out.
Yeah, appreciate that, Kelly. What a chance for him, 20 in red. Show what he could do against the best player in the country. Long against Pilling.
Morgan's report there, I'm not shocked that coaches are saying that. That's part of Dan Shamati's DNA. Like, there's no one player. It's our system. If it's not Smith, you know, we put someone else. We put Kelly in there to cover. It's not about individuals with Dan Shamati.
Goldstein thought he might have been able to get under the defender, Farrell, that time. Nice catch. He's been quiet. Kelleher's been quiet today.
Just look how they recover. It's absolutely insane how in sync they are.
Kirst on the outside. This is a big ground ball. Picked up by Mitchell.
There's Dunham.
Yep.
That's why Chris Bates in the PLL Archers drafted that Hoover vacuum.
Packard here. You get a feeling that Aiden Red could run the New York City Marathon through all 5 boroughs. The way he's putting the miles in today. Punt return that clear. Now here's Pickard. They had Firth caught on the defensive end, but Packard needed a break. It's like a long shift in hockey, man. When you got to head to the bench, you got to head over. Alpaw. Here's Pickard. Gilmartin on him. He shoots on the run wide. Merklinger couldn't find it. The shot hit him and he couldn't find the ricochet. Dooley. Gilmartin, nice pass inside, and Schwartz finishes. And you said it, Clark, everybody eats on this team.
Everyone eats, everyone has the green light. You saw Staub earlier hit the back of the net. It is a relentless approach when the Big Red have the rock. Schwartz makes it count.
Isn't it great that we save with Dash Pass by DoorDash?
Love it. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
What are we gonna do with all these bowls?
We got that covered.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
Every dream for your future starts with a plan. But at Corbridge Financial, we know it takes more. It takes action, like connecting with a financial professional to help guide you. Choosing retirement solutions so you can live the life you've worked for. And life insurance to protect the ones you love. Great things happen when you put your plans into action. Corbridge Financial. Action is everything.
So what are you working on?
Something for the Garcias. Right there's great.
Love you, honey.
Thanks, Mom.
We've got 24 hours to get all of this under control.
Then you're gonna need these today.
Oh, we can deliver that.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow. Get delivery at the speed you need only at the Home Depot.
Players we'll see this weekend, as the draft was a couple of weeks ago, Kark. Certainly CJ Kirst, the #1 overall pick to the Water Dogs, but look at the other players we're going to see this weekend littering the field here. Not only Hempstead, New York, but Annapolis tomorrow.
This is a loaded, top-heavy type talent in 2025. We'll see Coulter Mackesy, who's drafted 4th in the next game for Princeton, and Sam English, who went 2nd. Plays for Syracuse, the two-way stud. Season begins May 30th in Albany. Albany always brings it.
Cascadin still able to pick up the GB.
So still no Hunter Smith. Now it's all about Connor Kelly. 20 in red. Can he hold up? His brother Michael is in the 2nd game for Princeton. Youngest brother Luke is a high school senior, supposedly missing his graduation to watch his 2 brothers play at Hofstra. Luke, that is a good decision.
Hopefully this will be a memory he'll carry with him for his entire life. Walking at graduation, probably not so much. Kirst. And he's drawing a lot of attention. Now Kelly back on him. Second midfield unit on with Waldman. Hear the goalie shouting out, barking out Kelly to slide. Now Kirst is on Packard, the shorty. Tries to get underneath, now back upfield, shoots. Figure.
He's really good at low angles, right?
Can't pick up the ground ball, though. Dunham can't pick it up. Oh, they wanted to go quickly.
They want to reset because that hit Vigu's leg. So they reset the shot clock.
Goldstein wanted to go quickly, but they do get a fresh 60.
Goldstein has Mitchell Dunham on him. That's 5'8", 146 against 6'5", 220.
Waldman on Pilling. Pilling, one of the top short stick D middies in the country. Good catch. Long. Vignew stops it, though. Long's in a little bit of trouble here, or I should say Vignew out of the cage.
They're taking body blows right now, this Richmond defense. This is a long possession. Can they hold?
Kirst got the double on him. Pilling now still on him. Goldstein swings it. Up top to Sheehan. Kirst. Super long possession here. Goldstein. Back to CJ, working on Pilling. Now the slide comes.
It's like a battering ram, 15 in white.
Pilling absorbing the blows.
Gotta be careful if you're Richmond chasing those sticks, because the sticks for Cornell are smooth, and if you try to go over the head or back check, they're just a step away from a rip.
18 seconds left on the third iteration of the shot clock in this possession. Goldstein gets a step, pipes it. A fresh 60 again for Sheehan and Cornell.
Yeah, this is danger zone. Who's gonna bail you out if you're Richmond?
Third pipe of the game for Cornell, and it extends what's the longest offensive possession of the game so far in Cornell's favor. Firth, now the first midfield unit on. Still nothing doing, and another fresh 60 long with a head up. Goldstein.
They've had 5 shots on this possession alone.
Kelleher gets it to Long. Goldstein can't handle the pass. Big ground ball here picked up by the Spiders.
Talk about a critical moment with a stop. Haymaker after haymaker. The underdog soaked them in.
And now this Richmond defense needs a breather. Pilling is one of them. He gets rid of it and he'll head to the bench. Look at 19 in red. Just trying to get to the sideline.
Look at
this is Packard, yes.
It is survival of the fittest.
Richmond could use a long possession here themselves. Final 2 minutes and change of this third quarter. The largest lead was 3. It now stands at 1 for the unseeded Spiders. Creo working on Gilmartin. Richmond's missed their last 5 shots. Merklinger wants to change all that, but he'll give it up. They didn't miss that one. Lucas Olsen.
Props to the defense. 5 shots by the Cornell offense on 1 possession. Vignew doesn't make just 1 stop. It's 2. And you live to fight another day if you're Zach Vignew. Then it's the turnover and then the clear. If there was ever a moment in time where you had to clear the ball cleanly to give your offense another opportunity, precision shooting by Olsen. When you watch him on tape, Cotter, he's got a hammer of an outside rip. This time he uses that outside shot to his advantage because the defense flushes out and flies to him as the outside threat. So the outside shot opens up the inside dodge.
Officials threw a flag just before Olsen's goal went in. They discussed it for quite a while. Let's get the call.
They're calling a conduct foul, white ball. So that tells me after the goal, could have been some taunting.
Who just scored here? White ball.
So the goal is good. but it's white ball because it's a dead ball foul after the goal. Something must have happened from a Richmond player or the bench to give Cornell the ball with no face-off.
Both coaches a little perplexed about it, as are we.
I mean, his momentum kind of took him in there. It was a little bit of a shove, but nothing, nothing to warrant a flag.
Great job by Dooley selling that one too, though. Goal does count. So possession to Cornell without the face-off. And they're at full strength. It's just a possession. Which is big because Richmond's really done a better job of the face-off X here in the second half.
Well, normally you'd say, okay, well, Cornell's been so good with Cascadin, especially in the last matchup, too.
Cursed here. Look at the movement. Oh, Vincu forced to make the save. Picked up the behind the back, and the shovel goes for Goldstein. Now Vincu vehemently protesting. The goal is good. I don't know how Kurst got that one off, but Goldstein, Johnny on the spot with the rebound.
He's so crafty and tough-minded. We saw an Eric behind the back pass. He's still going to go back to the creative well. Kurst gets his shot off, but look at that backhand. Oh, I think Vincu thinks Kurst might be in the crease before this ball crosses the plane. Or it could be Kelleher, actually, 27.
Could be Kelleher in the goal mouth.
This is interesting. Watch 27. Is Kelleher in the goal? In the circle, the crease area.
Let's challenge ruling on the field. We're going to go to video replay to look at it.
That's what they're looking at. It's Kelleher on the far side. He's trying not to fall into both the crease and the goal mouth. Let's see where he lands.
The play is dead if an offensive player enters the crease area. Whether it's before the shot, after the shot, the play is dead. And that's the rule in college lacrosse. In the PLL, if a defender pushes an offensive player in the crease, they will continue the play. But in college lacrosse, it's immediately blown dead if the offensive player goes in the crease prior to the shot or the goal.
But that's the goal mouth here, I think, is what they're looking at. Watch 27. He's in the goal mouth.
That's twofold. You're absolutely right, Cotter. So there's two things. He can't be in the crease area before the ball crosses the plane. If he's in the crease area after the ball crosses the plane, it's still a goal. But you can never land in the goal mouth, even after a goal, unless it's from defensive pressure. So this is going to be interesting.
Was he nudged into the goal mouth?
Because he's in the goal mouth.
There's contact here, but is the contact forcing him into the goal mouth, or did he go into it on his own accord?
His right elbow's in the goal mouth. So the only way this continues to be a Cornell goal is if they deem Kelleher in the goal mouth because of defensive pressure.
You got a hip check. Yeah, that's what the officials are looking at. What brought Kelleher into the goal mouth? His own? Did he go on his own, or was he hip checked? Or an elbow? I think he's in. See, there's the hip check right there. Now he loses his balance. That right hand slides through that goal mouth.
And you saw a similar play in the North Carolina-Syracuse game when Finn Thompson, who was the shooter in that case, just a portion of his hand landed in the goal mouth.
Like a fingernail.
Yes, but you can't land in the goal mouth. It looks like he's clean crease-wise.
Yeah, he's clean crease-wise.
He's in the goal mouth. There's part of his body, any part of your body in the goal mouth, unless it's because of defensive pressure, is no goal for the offense here.
Okay, now watch this. Does his right hand hit the ground? I don't think it does. I think it's still elevated, but I think his body is on that corner.
Yeah, his right pec. The chest area definitely falls in that area.
Right, yeah, it definitely hits the corner. You can see he's trying to angle his way away from that corner. Let's get the call. This is a big call. Goldstein held scoreless last week, goalless. This would be his 4th goal of the game if it stands. Plenty to discuss with our officials. Let's get the call. That's the call, Clark.
And it's the right call. The only way that would have been a Cornell goal is if he lands in the goal mouth because of defensive pressure.
Coach,
now, a lot of people hate the rule.
Yeah. And
you can hate the rule. Don't hate the call. The refs made the right call there.
Coach Busick doesn't like the call, but by the letter of the law, that's a violation and no goal.
Hate the rule. Don't hate the call. The refs did their job there.
That's a big moment in this game. The advantage back up to 2 with 1:11 left to go in this 3rd quarter. And even if they get a call to go their way, Kark, it's another way that Richmond is stemming the tide.
You know, it's crazy. Round 1 down in Richmond, March 2nd. The score going into this quarter was
this is trouble right here. Empty goal. Goldstein misses the empty net, though. I don't know. Maybe it's Richmond's day. That is not something anybody expected to see. That shot gets deflected before getting in. Christopher Davis now loses it to Packard. Packard's in all kinds of difficulty here. Loose ball. Picked up by Kirst.
This Cornell attack is riding with purpose.
And they actually had a lot of defensive personnel on the field there on the offensive side, which helped them. Kirst here. Goldstein. He'll score. No mistake about that one. The flag will be waved off as it was going to be called against Richmond.
There was an initial hold on C.J. Kirst. That gets wiped. How about Ryan Goldstein? This guy is unbelievable. 146 pounds with firecracker feet and a nose for pay dirt. His game inside is defined by patience. He's never rattled when he gets above goal line extended. He takes that extra beat, and the extra beat always has multiple fakes. Brilliant. "53 seconds after that big moment with the Kelleher goal being waved, Ryan Goldstein makes it count this time.
Kirst's 2nd assist on the day, and both of them have been fighting through all kinds of contact to get the ball to 30. Ryan Goldstein. Lamb will shoot. He hits the pipe. That's 6 pipes on the day for Cornell. Final seconds. Oh, big hit. Richmond thought they might get a chance, but a big hit to end that 3rd quarter.
These teams want it, Connor. They want it. They want it.
And Chris Mazzaferri is a heck of a high school football player, bringing back the days at Upper Arlington and Columbus with that hit. What a game we have for you today. The #1 team in the country on the ropes right now. They need a big 4th quarter to avoid the upset. Richmond's for real.
Make the most of Memorial Day at the Home Depot.
So what are you working on?
We're adding some color.
Bringing summer inside.
All in one coat.
14 days of Memorial Day savings are happening now at the Home Depot.
Multiple sets shown, each sold separately. Ask your parents before going online.
today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kind of everything.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Yes, my salad is here. Thank you, DoorDash.
I love Dash Pass by DoorDash. It helped me save on ramen for the whole crew.
So what's better, your food or the savings you get with Dash Pass?
Tough call.
Here's a better question. What are we going to do with the rest of these bowls?
We got that covered. Stacking wins in here.
Dash Pass by DoorDash, your door to more savings.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek. Dog tested, dog approved.
Welcome back to Long Island here with Cornell head coach Connor Busick. Coach, down 1, what do you need to see from your team in these final 15?
We got to stay the course, make the tough plays, and share the ball in the offensive end.
What challenge is this Richmond defense creating for you?
They're playing cohesively. They're doing a great job. Goalies making saves.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Morgan. That is a man who was focused.
You feel the tension. You know, in round 1, March 2nd, down in Richmond. Richmond was up 10-8 going into the fourth quarter. They could not withstand the barrage of the Cornell offense. Cornell had 15 shots in that third quarter. You felt their relentless approach and just a juggernaut in terms of the way that they attack.
And yet Richmond countered with 12 of their own. They had the lead at the break. They have the lead heading into the fourth. Cascaded wins the draw. Goldstein. Kelleher. Goldstein's been the loudest on this side of the field. The midfield we haven't gotten much from. Firth, beautiful pass that time! And he finds his midfield mate, Andrew Dalton. Well, that might be a good start here in the fourth. We're tied.
Cornell wants to get back to championship weekend, hoist a title for the first time since 1977. They're going to do it with offense and sharing the rock. The most assists as a team in college lacrosse. And that's a breakdown by Richmond, who is normally dialed in and buttoned up in terms of their recovery. And when they slide, they communicate and they pinch the pipes, and they did not pinch the pipes that time. And Dalton, the Canadian, made them pay.
5th tie of the game. First time since we were 4-4 early. Cascade loses it. Goldstein ends up with it. Extra pass, long. That shot deflected.
This is why you love watching this offense, Connor. It's always about the extra pass. They're always looking for one more to increase their shooting percentage.
Figge making the save on Goldstein.
Big stop by Figge. Goldstein beat him multiple times to the inside pipe in this game. This time, Figge, the big fifth-year senior, smelled it out.
12 saves on the afternoon. Everybody on their feet here at Hofstra. Gilmartin with a hit. Stays the course, though. Littlejohn, 27 in red.
That was a monster play by Sheridan. 7 in red to withstand that pressure.
Olsen. Creo subs in. Good news for Richmond. Hunter Smith back at it. 6 in red. Back on the field. Cramping up earlier. They're going to need him in this fourth quarter big time. Creo. O'Neal. On stop. Shoots. Ground ball behind the cage, picked up by Creo.
Number 5. Great grounder by 10 in red.
O'Neal again. Dooley checking him. Littlejohn. Shot clock ran out. Didn't get a reset on that shot when Creo picked up that GB. Needed to recognize it. Staub with the clear.
Staub's an athlete. He covers a ton of ground. Garden City, New York product, along with Jack Cascadden, teammates. The Garden City Trojans now playing in their backyard in a monster moment in stage.
Firth now on Pilling, gets a step on him. Right on the doorstep. That scores. That goes in. In and out, but put one on the board for Cornell. Big red lead for the first time in a long time since it was 4-3. We talked about at the start of this fourth quarter. This midfield has been quiet for Cornell, where they've been loud here in the final stanza.
First part of these last 2 goals, one as a passer, this time as a scorer. Does the entire ball cross the goal line? It looks like it goes inside. The refs are on this call. This is a great look right here. Super slow-mo. Ball bounces inside. That is a goal. Great call by the official in real time. Willem Firth stepping up in big moments in the fourth. He is an exceptional talent. He's been playing midfield the last couple of years because of the wealth of producing attackmen they have. But when C.J. Kurtz and Michael Long graduate, Firth will go back to his natural habitat and play alongside Ryan Goldstein for the next 2 years.
And he's a first-team inside lacrosse All-American in midfield this year. Gut check time here for Richmond, Kark. You talk about the relentless nature of this Cornell offense.
They keep coming, and they do it from a full field perspective with their poles and their short sticks, and then in the settled spots with hyper-speed ball movement and ability to share the rock. How long can you hold on if you're Richmond?
Buzzy. Trying to get under his defender, can't do it. Now he wants to get it to Long, he tracks it, and he loses his foot right on the end line.
I think Long called a timeout.
Yes, he did. You could hear him calling for it.
That is a 6th-year senior's offensive brain, an extension of a coach. Michael Long knows clock and score and value of the ball.
At Firestone Complete Auto Care, we hold our service to the highest standard. That's why we have thousands of expert ASE certified technicians nationally.
We're here to change your oil, but also check on everything else on your vehicle, bumper to bumper.
Call and book today.
Make the most of Memorial Day at the Home Depot.
So what are you working on?
We're adding some color.
Bringing summer inside.
All in one coat.
14 days of Memorial Day savings are happening now at the Home Depot.
A large touchscreen keeps everyone happy. The Subaru Crosstrek. Dog tested, dog approved.
A history of winning started with the 65 Gators, losing steam, losing sweat.
We've identified the problem. What is the solution?
A drink scientifically designed to hydrate better than water, so they could sweat more, win more, and change the game forever.
Bing, bop, boom, 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 bop, bam. Naturally, we called our stuff Gatorade.
By Michael Long to call the timeout. Save possession just before the break. Cornell leads by 1. They've been on a run here.
They have, and Ryan Goldstein's been a catalyst with 4 goals this afternoon. A 3-0 run. Willem Firth as the passer and distributor. And this time he takes it himself and hammers this under the top crossbar. This is a matchup very similar to in early March when Richmond had a 3-goal lead. Evaporated in the 4th quarter because of the juggernaut of a Cornell offense that just keeps coming and coming at you.
Hunter Smith checking Kirst. 6 in red back in the game. Hilling showed, but Smith stays with him. Could have been a 4-0 run, but they had a goal wiped off. Save made by Vigu.
This guy is doing his job and then some. Saving low-angle shots with Goldstein coming around goal line extended. Hammer bounce shots by C.J. Kirst.
Sheridan on the run. Stahl wants to check out. He's looking for somebody to come in for him. It'll be midfielder Lucas Olsen. Russ the winner, statistician, telling me Kirst is 1 for 10 on the game. A couple of assists to go with that goal.
Credit Zach Vigu for disrupting his flow as a shooter, and then Hunter Smith forcing poor angles, but not on that last one. That was a clean look.
13 saves for Vigu. Creo looking for something on Gilmartin. Here's Olsen, 20 seconds to shoot. Working on Davis. Back to Merck at X. Merck wants a pick. Stahl has been all over. Now the help comes beautifully timed. That time by Walker Wallace.
How about Cornell? The last 2 times Richmond has come down to play offense. Looking at back-to-back shot clock violations. The Big Red playing big on the defensive side.
Yeah, turning up the dial on that side of the field.
You mentioned moments ago, C.J. Kirst 1 for 10 shooting, but Ryan Goldstein and Willem Firth and the passing of Michael Long have helped absorb that hit and lack of production from the top player in college lacrosse who has the ball right now.
Don't forget, half hour after our game ends, we'll be back with Syracuse and Princeton. We'll be with you the whole time as we'll preview that game. The other 2 games tomorrow from Annapolis. Kirst, he's open here, shoots the bouncer, just missing. Race won by Long. Waldman. Kirst on Kelly this time. Kelly doing a nice job.
Well, they've defended him and then some. Combination of Hunter Smith and now Connor Kelly.
Kirst, that one doesn't get through. Dangerous in front of the crease though. Vigu comes out of there with it.
Where's the offense coming from if you're Richmond? Cornell has bottled you up the last couple possessions. The player to me that could draw a slide is Max Merklinger. He's got 3 goals on the afternoon. Get 42, the 2-handed player out there on the field making plays. He's been your guy. The ball has to transfer through 42 in red.
Sheridan to Pickard. Sheridan can step into it, and he scores!
Sheridan has made 2 pop plays that I'll always remember in this half. One was a clear when he got pounded and retained possession. This time it's set your feet and let it rip. And Wyatt Nust has no approach to the ball here. He's not stepping to the ball. And the pure gas by Sheridan. One of the top dodgers on the Richmond Spider offense. This time he does it with time and room.
Brian Luzzy was caught on the defensive end too, and they took advantage of that. They noticed 22 and White was stuck on defense. Sheridan recognized it, and they burned Cornell.
Cascadon's heating up. That's his 4th victory.
Oh, but look at the hustle then.
It's his 4th face-off victory. He's won the battles, but that war, because it is a war, it's a 3v3. It's fight until you get the offensive possession. That's when a face-off matters. So Richmond doesn't win that face-off, but they win possession for their offense.
Jared Chenoy caused the turnover after losing the draw. We're tied at 11. 7 minutes left to go. Richmond with the ball. Creo on Gilmartin. Here's Sheridan again. Gets free. Boucher scores! Spiders back on top. Spider fans are going nuts here in Hempstead.
You saw the sign, Cotter. Saturday is for the Spiders. Cascadon wins it cleanly. Can't transfer it to Davis. And it's full-on pressure by the wings to create another opportunity for Joe Sheridan. When I'm watching tape leading up to this game, I've got highlighted uncanny dodger. This guy finds moments in games to cut through the heart of the defense. You saw him with time and room on the prior possession. Gets his 30th, with which part of his DNA go after a matchup and win it in a huge moment.
Violation goes against Chenoy. Cornell's won all 5 draws in this 4th quarter.
CJ Kirst is 1 for 10 on the afternoon. He's the nation's best player. He's got to demand the ball here. He might not be the goal scorer, but he'll get so much attention when the ball's in his cross. I love when Cornell uses the pick game with Kirst.
Firth gets by Pilling. Now they'll roll it around. Kelleher.
Look at the double in the recovery. It's the communication by the Spiders. They double and they race to recover.
Now Pilling has to check Long. Long runs by him, but the help is there. Kirst scores, cutting to the goal.
You've got to own the moment. If you watch CJ Kirst, this year what he's done, I think, better than any previous year is cutting without the ball. A big reason he knows he's going to get paid by the vision of Michael Long, or in this case, Ryan Goldstein. Goldstein coming into this afternoon, 48 assists, so many of them. And that kind of set play, finding a cutting, racing, full speed CJ Kirst.
Gilmartin picks up the GB.
Remember, Cornell used one of their timeouts with Michael Long calling it at the end line. Richmond still has 2.
Firth just blows by his defender. They'll reset the shot clock. Not that Cornell needs it. Long. Beautiful feed inside. Dalton finishes it off. Every one of these players, Clark, has eyes in the back of their heads.
I think of great offenses over the years. Recently, Penn State 2019, Maryland 2022. Distributing the ball. That's the second time Dalton has been wide open on the lower left side of the goal. Camped out, and that fake just increases his angle because Vigu's been spectacular gobbling those low angle shots up outside of Goldstein, who's kind of solved that puzzle. All the other players are having trouble with low angle scoring against Vigu. Dalton with that little pump fake and the 2 extra steps just changes the way that he sees the goal.
Long, his 4th assist on the day. Great job by Chinoy to goose that loose ball to a teammate. Their first face-off win of this 4th quarter with 5 minutes to go, down a goal.
And I said it earlier, Cotter, Cornell is different because they have 2 quarterbacks. Michael Long with 4 assists. Who had the prior assist? The other quarterback, Ryan Goldstein, feeding CJ Kurst for the tire to make it 12-12. When you have 2 elite passing quarterbacks, it's a nightmare to defend.
Timeout called by Dan Chamati. Richmond wants to talk things over as we tick inside of 5 minutes to play. If Cornell is relentless, Richmond is resilient. If nothing else in this game, they refuse to be put away. First of 2 today, first of 4 this weekend. Let's take a look at the bracket. After us, Princeton and Syracuse. Man, if that one's like this one, what a day of lacrosse we have here at Hofstra.
We knew it, man. When we walked into this booth, you better bring your energy.
Fans certainly have. The Richmond fans, clad in blue and red, man, they made the trip and they are fired up. Cornell, they've got half of this stadium all clad in red as well.
Got Notre Dame going for a 3-peat tomorrow in Annapolis. They have Penn State. After us, this Princeton-Syracuse game just reminds me of so many of the epic battles in the 1990s and the early 2000s. But this is such a big moment, and I think Dan Chamati called a great timeout. He had 2, so you want to save 1 for under 2 minutes.
Yep.
But you just felt this little mini run. And you can't go to the bus with these timeouts. So draw something up. What are they drawing up? Well, I think it's got to be Merklinger or Sheridan. Those are the 2 players that have had success creating separation from the Cornell defense.
Don't forget the national championship's going to be on May 26th at 1 o'clock from Gillette Stadium. For more information, go to NCAA.com. That's your home for all 90 NCAA championships. If you're just joining us, you missed some great lacrosse, but we promise us to be another 5 minutes of unbelievable lax. Richmond just won't go away. Just when Cornell, you think they're going to make a run, you think they're going to make one, you get Joe Sheridan with some brilliance, and then the passing has just been coming to the fore here for Cornell.
It's been a tough shooting day for CJ Kurst. Finding separation as a dodger gets rewarded as a cutter. And then Dalton on the backside now twice in the 4th quarter. So Cornell sees something when they start their dodge. That diagonal, low, goal line extended, camping out Dalton has been an answer.
An atypical game shooting for CJ Kurst, but as usual, he finds ways to contribute. Just 2 for 13 shooting, but 8 ground balls and a couple of helpers. And his team leads by a goal. Creo gets a pick, comes around it. Here's O'Neal. Sheridan. Again, gets by the defender and just misses.
Wow. He is so good at getting to the middle of the field with those stutter steps.
17 to shoot. Merklinger. He's got the short stick matchup he wants. He's going to have to take it to the goal with 10 to shoot. Gets a look. Deflects off a defender out of bounds, but just 4 to shoot. Is that enough time, Cart?
I think you could run a quick pick in the inside, maybe for Little John.
Richmond doesn't take a chance.
I think with 4 seconds left, if you have a quick hitter and a Canadian finisher and Lucas Littlejohn inside, that could give you a little bit of a desperation feeding attempt there.
Everything about this game just reeks of desperation right now.
Exactly, and earlier in the game, I would say throw it and out of bounds and ride, but in this spot in the game with this Cornell offense, a gamble might be worth it.
Kelleher finds Firth out of the box. Packard on him. Kelleher. Goldstein again finds the cutter. Flag down, gonna be a call against Richmond. Goldstein checks the shot clock. He's gonna want to take all 25 seconds down.
I think that's gonna be a hold on 8 in red. Charlie Packard.
Might get another one here. I thought we might get a hit too high. Long. Tries to skip that across. Picked off by Richmond. Now we'll get the call. Dan Shimati, not a fan of it, but it's going to go against the Spiders.
It's going to be a hold on Packard.
We have red number 8, hold, 30-second technical. Red number 8, hold 30.
Saw another pick off.
Reset to 60.
By Tommy Stoll late in that possession.
Here's the hold.
I mean, you could have even called a push
right
from the back too. So I think whether it's the hold initially or potentially the push, you're doing 30.
Packard sitting in the box, rolling his calves. Doesn't want to be cramping up right here. He's huge. Speaking of huge, huge man up here for Cornell.
Yeah, this unit's frightening. 46%, 6th nationally.
0 for 1 so far today. Kelleher dropped it, but picked it up. Here's Long. Skips it through to Firth. Saved by Vigu.
Wow. Wow, what a stop.
On Cornell's 50th shot of the day.
That was an exceptional stop by Vigu. Firth had some deception, kept his shoulders and his head high and shot low with a little wrister.
Got to clear this here though. Pilling can't do it. They turn it back over. And after killing the man down, they give it right back to the Big Red. Under 2 to play.
Each team sitting with 1 timeout. Cornell, when they rode that one back at a fresh 80. Almost 60 left in that shot clock.
Great save by Vigu. You got to be able to clear that ball. 18 turnovers today for Richmond. And yet they still have a chance. Got to get a stop here, though. Waldman. Second midfield unit on for the Big Red. Cursed, of course. Still 30 to shoot, though. Goldstein. Up top, picked off again, almost. Now a dangerous situation. Kirst is there. He picks up the ground ball, has Long in the middle. Opts not to pass it to him.
Tommy Stoll has been knocking down passes left and right, 40 in red.
Under 10 to shoot, though. Kirst may just dump this one in the corner. That's what he's going to do.
That's all Tommy Stoll. The senior, one of the most underrated long stick middies in the country, makes a massive, massive play.
Richmond has a chance to tie this game. Will Shimati call his last time out here? He does. 26 seconds left to go. The unseeded Richmond Spiders, coming off their first ever NCAA win last week against North Carolina, looking to keep the magic going.
Let's go, boys.
Got that grease board. Dialing up something for 7 in red. Joe Sheridan, or 42 in red. Max Merkley. Those are the best 2 dodging options and Joe Sheridan has found separation in this fourth quarter. He's got the 2 goals, but a couple misses as well. He's able to get a step. Now, if you're Cornell, how do you defend this? If Merklinger is playing midfield, do you double pull? Do you show zone? They haven't shown zone this afternoon. I would not advise going in zone here against a team that can really move the ball well.
You see, you talked about Sheridan. He's been a star for them here in the fourth quarter. They've really mixed it up. There's a lot of different goal scorers have scored for Richmond. Ryan Goldstein is the one who's carried Cornell with his 4 goals. Now Cornell, though, leans on their defense to preserve the win and send them back to championship weekend for the first time since 2022.
The nerves. It's more than just 2022. For Cornell, it's 1977. The last time they were able to win a national title. Figue's been brilliant for Richmond. The Spiders have been able to solve Wyatt Nust. He only has 5 saves.
Morgan, what's going on?
Well, Dan Chamati just reminding his team in that last huddle, don't overthink it. We don't have time to. We rely on our fundamentals. Remember, that's our culture, and use that here in these last 26 seconds.
And you can do that, Morgan, when you have 9 different goal scorers, not putting too much pressure, but with only 26 seconds left, who is getting separation and winning a matchup? Right now, it's in Aiden O'Neill's stick.
Here's Sheridan. Oh, my goodness. Pass goes awry. Huge, massive ground ball here. 4 seconds left. They're not going to get a shot off.